2 months ago, I started a brand new gacha news series where I wanted to take all of the important information that happened over the course of roughly the last month and condense it into an easily digestible format to bring to all of you. Major events, minor events, updates, launches, beta tests, pre-registrations, drama, everything in one single video. And that's what we're here today to do. Welcome to episode 2 of your, I don't know what to call this, monthly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly gacha news series. First, a brand new gacha game, Anja Relink, launched on August 14th in Japan. This game doesn't look like anything special, but the character models, on the other hand, yeah. Millennium Tour Elf recently launched in China and is now completely playable for those of you that want to go ahead and download the APK. I haven't played it myself yet, but from what I've heard, people were saying it's pretty basic, pretty generic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Tower Fantasy not only recently launched onto the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, but they're also holding their first year anniversary. We're giving 73 polls. 73, not 80. Not 80, which is guaranteed pity. No, they didn't want to give you enough for pity. They wanted to give you 73. And admittedly, there are a lot of people upset with that. It doesn't really make sense. Accompanying the PlayStation release were numerous bugs, like the Samir bug, which is absolutely horrifying to look at. Literally. That is probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in a video game. And I played Resident Evil, the first one, and I was like 8 years old at night. Anchor Panic is another brand new gacha game with some absolutely stunning characters. This game is now available. Holy, yeah, this game is now completely available, playable in China on Android and iOS on Steam. For those of you that want to go ahead, either download the APK or download it via Steam from the Chinese region. Again, another game I have not played. I have no idea what it's like or what to expect, but the waifus are super hot, so I mean, that should be motivation enough to try it out. Girls Frontline 2 hit over 4 million pre-registrations about 2.5 weeks ago, and as of today is actually at over 5 million pre-registered players. That's kind of crazy, especially given the game is supposedly supposed to launch in the 4th quarter of 2023 in China and the 1st quarter of 2024 globally. Brave 9 is apparently coming to Steam. I don't know why. I didn't even know that Brave 9 was still alive, was even still popular, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, but it's coming to Steam on August 31st. It's the 29th right now as of recording, but as of posting will probably be the 31st, so it might be available on Steam today. Thrud, which is actually like Harry Potter, but if, you know, Hogwarts was filled with really hot waifus, is now available for was available for pre-download. I know a lot of players in China have tested the game out, have started playing it. It's not available globally. We don't have a confirmed global release date yet, but if you're interested in playing it, I mean, now's the perfect opportunity to. 2 weeks ago, Destiny Saga began closed beta 2 testing in Malaysia. I've actually never heard of this before. I didn't even know this was a thing. If you're interested in trying it out, there's an APK somewhere. Actually, I'm not even sure the closed beta is still currently ongoing, but if it is, you know where to find it. If it's not, you know that there will probably be a third one. Code Geass Lost Stories, which is a gacha adaptation of the incredibly popular Code Geass anime. One of my favorite anime of all time, along with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, is releasing on the 13th of September, so 2 weeks from now. I actually included this in a recent video I did discussing all of the upcoming gacha games in September, which you should totally check out if you haven't already looked at it. And just looking at the image here, looking at Colin again, oh my god, is it bad that I actually had a crush on Colin when I watched Code Geass the first time? Like, I loved C2, but like Colin was just holy crap. Now, I don't know if this is going to be any good. I love the anime, so I think this is probably going to end up horseshit, but I'm going to give it a go. If not just to see more Colin. China is holding one of the biggest collabs for Punishing Gray Raven to date. A collab featuring Black Rock shooter. I could not be more excited. I play Punishing Gray Raven, and knowing that we're gonna get this in like half a year to a year just is leaving me with just insurmountable amounts of hype and excitement. I legitimately cannot contain how badly I want to play this update. Epic 7 is causing a bit of drama recently because they confirmed in China pretty much all the female characters got nerfed, and not nerfed statistically, nerfed physically. The character models had drastic reductions in size all around, and players are livid. Not just that, but they also then went on to censor a character in the game by removing his outfit, his entire skin, which was not received too positively. But I mean, this is China. They love censoring everything they can for whatever reason. If Punishing Gray Raven's Black Rock Shooter collab didn't get you excited, I guarantee you this will. If you're not already playing NIKKE, then they are holding a Nier Automata collab, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. They have taken 2B and A2 and actually improved them even further, which in theory should not be possible, but they did. So good job, NIKKE. This is gonna make me re-download the game and start playing it again though. Oh, God damn it, just when I thought I'd gotten away from it. Project Akotsky is a cyberpunk ninja 3D action game that was just recently announced. I actually covered this in a dedicated video. It actually looks very cool, very stylish. Character models were fantastic. The combat and the animations themselves looked a little bit mediocre, but they have plenty of room for improvement. We don't have an official confirmed release date yet for global specifically, but I wouldn't anticipate it taking more than a year or two to come out. Black Clover M recently, I believe, launched in Canada, and they were under the spotlight, or in the spotlight rather, because of all of the fake reviews they were purchasing for their game, which is a direct violation of the Google terms of service, and they didn't get in trouble for it. They didn't. But you know what? People know that it happened, and I think that is more important than anything else, because if the community knows, if people know, then they know to boycott the game, any game that the studio publishes in the future. Dragonair Silent Gods is actually a very unique Dungeons and Dragons inspired gacha game. I streamed this a couple times, did a dedicated video on it. This is officially launching on September 19th on PC, on Android, on iOS. I don't remember if this is releasing on Steam or not, but I did play the PC client and it did play pretty well. Before we go any deeper into this massive list of information, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to cover games, to do videos like this for a living. You guys are absolute freaking legends. For Honkai Star Rail fans, or for potential future Honkai Star Rail fans that were interested in playing Honkai Star Rail on the PS5, 6 days ago they began recruitment for the upcoming test phase, the technical test for the PS5. The test phase did end on the 28th, so that was yesterday, and will begin on the 4th of September. For any of you that are interested in playing the game on the PS5, I know there are a lot of you out there that are, because there are a lot of console Genshin players out there, and a lot of you that are going to be console Zenless Zone Zero players when it eventually launches as well. Speaking of Zenless Zone Zero, there was a 22-minute trailer released featuring tons of gameplay, exploration of the city, the combat, numerous characters. If you're interested in taking a look, you can pretty much find every major content creator and streamer's reaction to it on YouTube. Or you can just go ahead and look at the footage released onto official channels. Either or, I played the game at Anime Expo 2023 and I had a ton of fun playing it. I think it is a very fun game. I think it's going to do really well when it launches. Danmachi Battle Chronicle is now available for download. It became available for download, I think, roughly about a week ago. This is the gacha adaptation of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? The anime was fantastic. I really haven't watched the second or third seasons of the anime. I know that there were people that thought the second season wasn't nearly as good as the first season, but this game is downloadable and available globally now. and I am going to actually download it and record a video on it so I can finally have it covered, because I know people have been asking me to. Wuthering Waves recently made some waves by announcing that they are going to be coming to the Epic Games Store. We haven't had really any additional information. I know they released a trailer showing one of the characters, and the trailer looked fucking insane, but we still don't have any new information concerning future betas, release dates, anything really, and that's okay, because they're hard at work, and I'd rather them focus on working rather than trying to meet a deadline for a beta test or something else. Cat Fantasy, which is a 3D anime turn-based gacha game, held a 5-day closed beta on Android just a few days ago, and from what I saw, it looked kind of okay. Very mediocre, but I mean, the game is pretty much exclusively about hot cat girls. So even if the gameplay is kind of mid, like the game has a lot of hot NIKKE girls, so like that's probably incentive enough for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to download and at least try the game out. Project Mugen is probably one of the biggest announcements of the entire year. Everyone is talking about this game. It has almost 1 million pre-registered players over the course of a week, and all we have is a single trailer. The trailer looked phenomenal. Some of the best combat, some of the best animation, some of the best movement, some of the best traversable terrain and interaction with the environment. This game, I think, genuinely looks cooler than almost any other upcoming gacha game, and looks genuinely higher quality than the majority of gacha games that are already currently out and available. This game is going to be really big. I am incredibly excited to play this, and I know almost every other content creator I know or have seen is equally as excited to play this game, because there just isn't anything else quite like it right now in the gacha space. Love Brush Chronicles is, well, it's a dating sim, a romance narrative anime game. Not entirely 100% certain, but I mean, pre-registration is available for it. The game is launching very soon. I urge you to, if you're a fan of husbandos, go ahead and check it out. Brown Dust 2 is a new gacha game that launched in the last couple months. It was very high quality, probably one of the highest quality gacha games I've played all year. Great narrative, beautiful graphics, fun combat. I really had no complaints, except for the fact that I had to play it on an emulator. But that all changes on the 21st of September when the game is launching onto PC. That is awesome. I admittedly do not play Puzzle and Dragons, but they are holding a Hatsune Miku collab starting on the 31st of August for any of you that do in fact play. Or maybe it's a Hatsune Miku game and it's a Puzzle and Dragons collab. I'm not sure. There's a collab going on. I know that there are fans of Hatsune Miku and Puzzle and Dragons that are watching right now. There is a brand new anime gacha game called Aster Tataricus that I've actually been advertising. I have been covering for the last year since it was announced. This is admittedly not showing really any of the images. It's a strategy RPG, kind of reminded me a lot of Fire Emblem. And I mean, this is a gorgeous game that lets you openly traverse the town. From what I can tell, is very narrative driven. It is a game that has a lot of potential, and in Japan specifically, the game is now available. So if you've been waiting for it, if you've been following the videos I've been doing on it, then this is your time to try it out. You just won't understand anything unless you're Japanese or use a translator. For those of you that were a fan of SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, and that is, you know, quite a long name. I mean, the second closed beta is coming. Not quite sure when. They link to a tweet here. Goes on to state they're preparing for it. Details and the start will be posted at a later date, so it's coming very soon. Given this was posted within the last 24 hours, you can expect an update probably in the very near future. I'm honestly not a fan of the SD Gundam stuff. I prefer the full-sized Gundams. I also wasn't a fan of the SD Gundam anime either. The Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross is having an Attack on Titan collab starting next week, and that is perfect for me because I actually just started Grand Cross. I downloaded it yesterday, which means I'm gonna be able to pull from Mikasa. That is great. I can't wait. And the collab honestly looks sick. The characters look phenomenal. All right, I'm excited. Outer Plane. Well, for those of you that play Outer Plane, I know there are probably a few of you. I played it. I don't recall being a fan of it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people ended up disliking the game for numerous reasons, but they're celebrating 100 days for whatever reason. I guess it's an accomplishment for Gacha Games. They've been online for 100 days without having to shut down. Woo! But they're celebrating 100 days of being online with free polls and changes. So, I mean, if you haven't played yet, or you've been putting it off for whatever reason, now's a good opportunity to jump in. And finally, if you weren't aware, there was a lot of drama recently with Kaveh in Genshin Impact, and players having a lot of their items and their world negatively affected by hackers, by exploiters. This has been resolved as of the 25th, and as of the 26th, the developers fixed the accounts of the travelers who encountered the error and contacted customer support for assistance. They're still working out any additional issues they have, but, and I covered this actually in a video just yesterday, they are not only banning accounts that use the plugins and that exploited the game and hacked players, they are also taking legal action against the developers and players. So they're actually taking players to court. They are suing players for hacking and exploiting and damaging other players' games. That is crazy. But kudos to Hoyo. That will teach the hackers not to hack in the future. If you are potentially going to get taken to court, sued, or thrown in jail, it might dissuade some of them from doing it. Now that is it. That is almost a month's worth of drama, news, new releases, pre-registrations, beta tests, launches, everything I can think of that I thought was worth covering. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing these every month if I remember to. Otherwise, I have 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of interest to you if you're looking for something to play.